We are recording.
This is fantastic. All right, I'd like to welcome TV Land, as well as our two in-person visitors after a year to the management meeting of June the 8th, 2021. Steve Condiff, I'll be mediating, heading up, or spinning through the agenda tonight with the meeting. Jim Zick, who's had another engagement he was involved with and wasn't able to attend tonight, so this is what we get tonight. So, invited guests, glad to have you back. Do you have anything for us? Any words of wisdom? All right. Let's jump into the. I'm sorry? Oh, I forgot. You're right. We all got new Red Cross shirts, didn't we? At least those we let poke needles in us. Let's go ahead and run through the numbers, Jeff.
All right, capital fund total, we've got $344,897. Depreciation fund total is at $334,937. And then the dam account total is at $102,031, $101,737 of which is in the checking account. At touch for another month or two. So we will be taking out of operations to supply the dam repair checking account for the next.
Getting close. It's
We are.
good. Sure
And then
will.
we will, I know we've discussed it before and discussed it with the board, but we will, once we get to the point where we owe under the 101,000, then we'll.
Yep, save some money. It's a good point to bring up. Anybody has any questions on that? It is.
What's the timing of that? Is that
I believe it's July. I don't,
Okay.
she's supplying me with the balance for the board meetings, so we'll know for sure next week. Okay.
July, and I think it was officially to be paid off like October, November, someplace like in there. And at that point, there was a few $100s to be saved by paying it off early. We had the money in the account, so
Right.
that way we can just wipe the thing out and have the official burning of the damn mortgage on top of it or something. You know,
we should do that.
we should have some kind of ceremony of burning that piece of our history, anyways. I know it's been a good project, and I know everybody's glad to have that lake back and being able to enjoy it today. So. See one request for expenditures, which is the annual chip and seal. Have any updates or news on start times or anything you can share with us, Rex?
We received their quote. Obviously, this won't be spent until October. And it's coming in right after Labor Day week. Get it done again, probably days. It's got a budget for hot patching to get ready for them and get it leveled up and up.
It's good. Unfortunately, with having a winter this year, we've noticed a few more cracks and holes around in places. So
Noticed a few more, but what the last year's chip seal held up.
I noticed that too.
So, no problem. Same time. I also want to give a thanks to paving, who did the paving a couple weeks ago. Did exactly what I was hoping for. A couple things, I mean, yes, we wanted to make it pretty, but it needed to be smoothed up, but it also needed to drain. And the fact we've got it to drain now is going to last a lot longer. So, it's, stuff.
And he gave us a little bit of extra asphalt and labor for the security parking area there. That was not originally planned.
I did notice yesterday after the rain that there was some puddle, like in between where the building is. Side.
Probably going to be a little bit, it's really flat in there.
Yeah.
I think some of the other places we've got to get off out of the middle.
Yeah.
The thing is, as that little bit of oil sheen gets off the top.
And I don't think anybody misses the bump out by the road coming in, so or the crater.
No.
So, and it definitely did change the appearance of it. All the landscaping and everything out there, it really does look nice. But it's a good job doing that.
When we get in the chip and seal account, we've got 196,000 some change. That's before the price for 34,000.
close. That seemed a pinch high, but
Okay.
yeah, in
Okay.
there.
But we will have plenty for hot patch for any road emergencies and any minor road emergencies and that kind of.
And we always end up with a culvert someplace or having to repair something else that's a little different, so that's good. It's nice to know we have a fund there that we can actually put to good use this year. Great. Okay, discussion items. I guess I don't know if we know the full extent of it or not, but I know we had some minor issues we needed to take care of in the electric in the lodge as we get prepared for South Central Power coming in and looking at some other things and found some standing issues here. So why don't you give us a little bit of that, Mr. Marty, what we've been doing and where we're going?
Yeah, there were two breakers in the main that operating. So we had another safety issue, transformer out. We sleeve some of the wire. Yeah, that safety. Speaking of the big project with South Central, 15 kV line, that's gonna, we're having a construction kickoff meeting in South Central. There'll be some notes out of that. It's up with that, starting right now. South Central's also gonna be some vegetation management here. Summer as well.
Correct, that should be starting anytime.
We don't have exact dates for you yet. That's some of the questions we're gonna kind of run through on Thursday with meeting with them so we can make membership know. They're supposed to be doing notifications themselves. They're gonna start doing some trimming back of trees again. Some trees may look as if they may be even on members' property, but if they're hanging over into the right of way where they're maintaining these lines and have to do this work, then we'll be doing some of those trimming. But we've not had any issues with them really in the past. If you find out something, property damage or something, call up the office or let somebody on management or the board know, and we can get with them and look at it. But they've been pretty conscientious about taking care of our issues and not causing too much problem overall.
Well, and they are actually supposed to. I mean, if you're affected by this, they should have contacted you already, or at least a 90% chance they have. They're supposed to be leaving door hanger tags on people's doors, as well as putting something out with their bills that will be affected by it. So there's actually a point if there's any issues at all. Somebody trespassing, somebody whatever. What's that? Oh,
Okay.
very good. So from the audience, we had that they stopped by the audience member's house today and actually pointed out the trees that were going to be taken out. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you're here, you'll be seeing, and I guess they also made the door tags to hang on there with information or where to call to get information from them. But when we know they start, we'll make sure we send an e-blast or something out there, do the first phase of that. And once we meet with the contractors actually bearing the cable, then we'll be able to get that word out to everybody too. It's going to happen a little quicker than we thought after it was kind of stalled out last year. So hopefully we get this project started. And again, yesterday, I heard electric outages in places, and it's still happening. And I don't know, not like we had high winds or a storm, but people have lost electric.
Doesn't take much, does it?
It doesn't seem to down here.
Our remote viewers are. You haven't had to do this for a while, so we're out of practice.
Yes.
Yeah, I was getting a couple of
Okay. Well, I was wondering about that.
Yep.
We did a sound check before a couple of them got here. So thank you, world of viewers. That's about it on the lodge deal with the electric and things. Marty's kind of heading that up for us here. And he's the smartest one we have when it comes to not licking light sockets, I guess. RFID gate project.
You want to talk about the convex traffic?
I'm sorry. I put my glasses down and I didn't even read it. So yes, let's talk about the curves and Hideaway
All right.
Hills.
You should have an email in front of you from a member that was actually in an accident in their UTV a couple of weeks ago and has taken on the cause of trying to make our many blind corners safer. So she has done some research for us, done actually a decent amount of legwork, and the website that she has referred to and reached out to the company at is trafficmirror.com out of Massachusetts. We're looking at a total cost of, depending on the size of the mirror, either $278 or $399 plus the poles. These are convex mirrors, which you see in parking garages a lot and that kind of thing that you would place at strategic locations on a curb so that it's obvious that someone is coming the other way if you looking at the mirror. I will say, and what I've let her know is that my concern is that we're two, actually. One, I'm always going to relate it back to budget, and it's not something that is budgeted. But even more importantly, how do we know that these mirrors are not going to blind someone temporarily if the sun hits them just right? There is apparently some shading on them, I found out today, but I've honestly never seen one outside of the parking garage. So, door. So, I mean, Rex, any knowledge? Is our road guy? Any knowledge on
I
it?
don't have any.
Right.
I'm also a little concerned about popping extra 4x4 posts around. Slamming into that cause another problem. So saying no, I guess that's another thing to think about is
Yeah.
put them and if they have to be close enough to the road, hit you with another golf cart, you got another problem. So then you put a 4x4 post out, you're liable for that.
And I'm sorry that, that they were involved in an accident. I'm glad no one was seriously injured through that process. But and again, I'm not making short of this, but if you haven't almost met somebody in the middle of one of these curves, you haven't been here very long. It's more of people driving too fast and in the middle of the road around some of these curves. Along with this, another issue is we also need to look at off-road parking up through some of these curvy roads. There are places around curves where members have places to park, and then they have visitors that come in on a weekend or something, which we welcome and love to have people come down and visit our community. But if we're keeping those cars 2-3 foot on the road and our roads aren't that wide to begin with, that also is an issue of being able to maintain your side of the road as you go around these curves too. So it's a lot of little things here. The mirrors may definitely help, especially on the total blind curves, but I think the real problem is with drivers that are just not paying attention. I think someone that is cognizant of the mirror being there is almost head to head on, so we look up at that mirror. Everybody else is probably never going to see him. We talked about, even though our roads aren't legal width or anything, and I think Rick's I know he's got a machine to put lines down, maybe even marking with some yellow dotted lines around some of the curves to kind of promote where the middle of the road is and where you should kind of be off to the side of it too may help some too. I mean, little things that we look like this, I think it's going to be several things that's going to end up being the solution, not just one thing. So we definitely need to look at it before somebody gets seriously hurt. Kids on a golf cart or something. It's just.
Well, there's other areas too that just trimming back at the vegetation. It's like, case in point, it's like coming off of Hideaway Hills to turn left on Coosa, right before the bridge. If you cut back that stuff right there, you can actually see it. In the winter, you can see through the brush, but not right now. You can't. So you're making a bunch of blind left turn.
I know on some of the curves on Natchez, probably trees. That's not a problem.
Right.
Let me do some research and look at the website and after the next meeting have a little more information to talk about it. That's okay.
All right, so we will keep it on the agenda open for.
Yeah, let's keep it
Okay.
open, and while we're out driving around, let each of us kind of pay attention to these areas, and let's look at them and see, if we're going to go with the mirrors, we should start looking at which way they're going to point, and because some of these things, that unless there's a perfect place to put it, if we utilize the trees, it may not benefit both sides of it, so you may end up with having to have two there, and I just want to look at it a little bit closer, I think, before we go out and spend it. Yeah, it's a good spend. It's way cheaper than somebody getting hurt.
Could Rick possibly go out? He knows the road better than anybody. Have him go out and look at just these spots to begin with. See about if there a tree there, or if, like you said, one mirror would work, or you need two.
We can ask him to
I think
see.
he knows more than.
Well, he does, and I just They just do so many things. I
Understood.
cringe when say, well, let's just have Rick go do it.
Great
It's like,
wintertime project for him.
yeah, not during the summer when we're short
not
guys
Before
on
the
motors.
snowfall.
But no, you're right. And maybe there's some other things there. I did actually found a mirror that's in place.
There's one, that's private though, isn't it?
It's right there where Coyote comes down on the, right down up towards the Enchanted Forest, the other end of the lake, north end of the lake. There is one that comes off that road. That's the only one I found here recently driving around. Yeah, I think we definitely need to look at this, and maybe it's going to be a combination of several things. It's a good point, and email's not going unheard. We appreciate where we're coming from. Now, get back to my list in proper order. Talk about our RFID gate project.
All right, what
Jeff?
do you want to talk about?
JJ,
Oh,
you guys met.
JJ, why don't you start?
You guys met with them.
Yeah, we met with
Last week.
Signature and really I think there's a lot of things that were changed in the initial scope. But then again, there's a lot of technology that's changed to the original scope. I liked what I heard. There's there's different transponders or tags, whatever you want to call them, that can be used. I talked to some people that are in the towing industry, and Steve had suggested one of them, which is just a tag that goes on your headlight. Those are fairly new, but I was told that they're just as effective as any of the other ones. It's also, we have to look at this, then we have to also figure out how we're going to take this or whatever and put it into our system. Meaning the things that we do here, not everybody's the same. A lot of different places that have the RFID tags, and, in the parking lots in the hotels and in other private communities, there's a lot of places that have these things. Exactly taking this and seeing what we can put into ours. And again, the technology is so much better now. The gates out front are dinosaurs. They have a hard time even getting parts. They have to find a system to make parts that. So, that's more doing something else as opposed to doing, replacing some of the inners and the gate. It's like it could be a replacement. I mean, when he came back with the second quote, I went through it and I didn't see anything that was out of line at all. And it was somewhat, it was higher than the first one, but still, it wasn't crazy. It wasn't.
Quite a bit less than I expected it would be, but that was based on 8 or 9 year old pricing. So technology certainly has helped. We're looking at, and I will say that the scope is replacing, installing an RFID reader at the Bora Hill Gate, the Bremen Gate, the Enchanted Forest Gate, and then the front gate. And this is going off of one front gate, leaving the one closest to the security office as manual toggle. For security to be able to screen visitors and contractors and that kind of thing. Replacing, which we did not have on the very first one that we got. I don't recall if I sent that out or not. The very first one that we got about a week ago did not include replacing the pedestals, the motors, and everything except for the arms at the 2 security entrances and the security exits. And those are all pretty old. The exit gate's the newest one, and it already has a sighting problem. It's 8 or 9 years old. Like the others, he's not sure how long they've been. Some time. Also includes, and if you remember back to winter and the icy days, the Bora Hill Gate was quite a discussion. This also includes adding a pedestal and gate arm to the Bora Hill Gate so that in the summertime or in times when it was not snowing or icy, we would leave the sliding gate operational. At times that it was icy, we would lock the sliding gate open and drop the barrier gate, the arm, so that if someone did slide through it, it would do very minor damage. It's called a breakaway arm, but versus sacrificing a $4,000 pedestal and motor, you're sacrificing a $25 That was before all this craziness. Probably $100 piece of wood.
Well, that is a concern. We need to make sure we do cover on that gate there. Then again, with the gate system, if we stay with, if we go to the newer system, it's also going to react quicker. I know that was some concern with people, the time that it takes for the metal gate to open, if they happen to be sliding. And with a newer lightweight gate, yeah, it may pop open a little bit quicker.
Well, you can set it. The range on these gates now are just so much better than before. And from discussions we had, they didn't feel like there'd really be any interference. Electronics.
Specifically when they look at these. This $37,900 does not include taxes, not include the tags. So we said how many tags we need. Probably looking at about $9,000 in tags to fit all of the cars that we currently have registered, as well as having a little bit of a backup.
I must not have the right quote then, because mine's only 21.9.
Now you got to add
Add everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
need
may
to-
have printed out the wrong
This is
one. I
the
didn't
base
print
quote.
the additional 11.
Yeah, no, these are
This is
the
the base
different
quote.
things-
These are
these
the
are the things
options.
that we want
I didn't
to
print
put
the. I didn't print
But this
the
is
base.
the
It had
one
the
right here,
additional
though.
11,985 for the extra pedestals.
It says the existing slide gate to be reused, but you're going strong arm carrier. So that's, I know, but you're not going to reuse the existing slide gate.
Yeah, it's both.
So you have double.
Yeah, well, you'd have in icy conditions, the barrier gate would be closed. The arm gate, chop gate, I think is what Rick calls it, would be closed, and the sliding gate would be locked open every other time
We
of the year,
expect an
vice
attack from the
versa.
north? Gates?
Huh?
We expect an attack from the
It's
north?
just to
You never know.
never people slide into Board Hill. We figured this was the best idea to, and it's slippery. If you have to Board Hill with the sliding gate.
Yeah.
The other thing is that's good about this is that it's a standalone of the R system. You need to get a server to handle it. It's nothing crazy. Some of these things, your server is going to be like the size of the table. Don't need that. Probably need some battery backup. That's something that. Another thing is, they will have the ability for remote maintenance. So their tech come into our system and override things if necessary. We can do it. So, or he can service it from anywhere. And you guys,
That's
pretty
plus.
sharp.
Yeah,
that
that's
was-
way better than waiting a day or two for a
Yep.
service person to show up.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that I heard that just really, I mean, he answered all my questions. He answered Rick's questions and he answered Randy's questions. And the ones guys are gonna have to see it go with it worse or us. He seemed pleased.
That's good.
What is required? It says we need to provide or someone needs to provide the reader pedestals. What is,
Just a pole.
just a pole? Pole,
Apparently FedEx charges more for shipping those than that.
Okay.
Cost, so
Alright.
just
That was the
get
same-
some poles.
That was the same here. They said the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
poles. Whatever FedEx does to ship poles, they get you.
Let's put them in a 18-wheeler apparently. Yeah, we're looking at probably keeping the server up here, doing the data entry up here.
What does the server actually do?
It actually holds all of the information for the tags that you can turn them on or off. You enter, okay, tag number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 belongs to Marty Mendoza. So as people are entering and exiting, we'll go back and audit that at all. But more importantly, as someone leaves Hideaway Hills Club, you can actually shut off that tag.
Can't take the stickers and pins on it and peel them off. It's
Right.
really-
Yep.
Right. So what's the benefit of having one headlight? As opposed to just sticking it up on the windshield?
Sometimes it's snow. Snow, we have it up, depending on what wipers you have it down, we have it up. So it can sit on the windshield. Stop it.
Right, cheaper?
And they're a little bit more expensive, but it makes more sense versus something that I can peel off of my windshield and stick on your windshield. Now you end up with you end up with the same thing. And I've got a toll tag from Texas. It was the exact same thing we used for the readers at the cliffs that I had used in 3 different. I got any trouble on it. On and off the engine. But on this actually has it's almost like a fusible link with brakes, so you don't have to worry about that.
And those were.
Yeah, there's just a
It's
not
in there.
shown on there.
And there could be a price break or something if we end up with, again, we thrown some numbers around earlier tonight on that. But I think the girls can kind of give us issued how many of our little circles we, send every year out and things.
Yeah.
The key thing to this is, and commented, little discussion we had online when we first got this, that's really going to put an end to people being able to get through without having the new stickers on there, which is part of that security piece for us too.
So what do we do with the openers there?
My guess would be versus we've got 1,029 of them currently out there somewhere. That's better than $25,000 if we start giving back money to those. So we're gonna need some funding if we're gonna do that. Or we say, okay, clickers get you a free tag. So don't have to worry about it.
So you have to pay for a tag?
There's a
Not
cost
initially, but
associated
I would think so. There is a cost associated.
There's a
Yeah.
cost associated with it. I'm
I gotta
thinking
pay to get to my house?
this is,
Not if you come into the front.
Come in the front gate.
if you don't have a clicker, you're not going to have anything to exchange for it. So.
No, I understand.
I mean, everybody paid for the clickers,
But I don't-
and yet you get to your house.
Well, maybe we need to charge you a road tax or
I mean,
something.
I don't get an RFID tag.
No.
I'm just trying to understand this because
There's a couple little things that we have to work out with this. We see the pricing and things like that. The other thing is we have to figure out actually how they're going to be installed.
Distribution of the new tags.
That's
It's not something we would want to risk putting in the mail and having the rail crush. We've talked about they get bent, they could break. So it's almost going to be like we did when we reprogrammed all the openers. We're just going to have to set up some days and have volunteers out at different places and install them. And I'm sure there'll be some way we can run a check on them and make sure they're working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of the logistics. It's going to take more time.
And that's what we really need to work out. And none of us want to be here till midnight talking through all the logistics of this thing, I think. No one of us that doesn't. But that's one of the things we need to discuss is exactly how the ramp up will start if and when it's all approved.
so are we getting other quotes?
I'm going to try to get one more. The group that I worked with before said they can't quote it, so I'm going to ask them to put it in. There are a couple places that I've seen. I've contacted some people from the poll agencies, but this is smaller, so for them to get involved in something like that. But I have a guy I worked with back in Jersey. Can you give me a couple? Please send it out. We can take this without any pricing and things like that, and it may not be apples to apples, but the technology there, I mean, we talked about 2 different that date that they have ability to use it. So they can change this for, the other one was a Trescent responder.
So what about the software?
Software is
That's
ours.
additional, right?
No, that's part of ours.
That's part of
Part
it.
of it.
It is?
Yeah.
See it.
I didn't see exactly where they put it, but it is.
And is
part
there
of
any
the
kind of
whole thing.
licensing fees?
According to them, no.
Nope. No, we own it. There's no monthly fee. Yes, there is. Maintenance. Not, there's no monthly fee for the actual system.
It's like one of the self-install burglar alarm or camera systems you can install. It's kind of a hack and play. You hook it
Yeah.
up yourself, and
And I didn't ask the question. I'm not sure it's not just cloud-based.
I would
These
think
days, that would
so.
almost make sense.
that's what all the rest of this stuff's running
Uh-huh.
on. So
Does this include any of the, like, we had
This was not discussed with
Okay.
that. That is just, that could be the, really, that would be another discussion in itself, whereas a gate for guests. I really
If
wouldn't
it-
want it at the back gate, but.
Correct.
guests,
Yeah.
something
Or
like
if you
that.
wanted to do that for contract. You wanna hold it,
Well, you can do that with the train.
that's the-
No, that would probably charge those.
I think security needs to be screening those people. Folks that we can talk about coming in, they
Yep.
probably need to have everybody screened that they call
Yep.
in. You know, the question with the keypad, okay, it's temporary, great, who's gonna enter those? Cause that'll just be, you know, we've got a wedding down here, Saturday, 231 cars, who's gonna enter? I don't think it's about- And Randall agrees that they, based upon what they see coming, with some of the folks coming in or trying to come in through the gate, it's best if those that are not.
Anything else?
Now, look forward to seeing if we get more quotes and then I agree with Martin, everybody, the devil's in the details. Where the software is, how we use it's gonna be.
Get there once this thing's installed.
Rex,
Okay,
what
just
about the lake enhancement committee?
really quick, we've got a really good committee on what we call the Lake Enhancement Project. And just want to give a quick report. I've got the folks on the committee are really good and they're wanting to do. And the purpose of this first committee is not to do, it's to build a framework, getting things done and deciding who's responsible for lakes, where does the money come from, what needs to be done. And so the plan for the committee, and I need to apologize to the committee, I've been kind of out of contact for about 3 weeks because of work and other stuff, but I'm getting back in it. But my goal is for us to develop a report over the next 30 days. We will report to the management committee in July, and then if that's accepted by the management committee, then we'll take that on to the board of trustees, and we'll have our recommendations, which will include forming I would believe would be a permanent lake committee, different than an enhancement of a maintenance committee instead of the lakes committee now that we have that is just needs to be separate, or it needs to have a new charter. So that's where we're going. And I hope that by definitely the July management meeting, we'll do a report. Whether we can make the report to the board of trustees in July or have to wait until August, we will. So,
I think it's a beginning of a good thing because, you know, when you set these charters up and setting goals and where you want to go, basically what we live at now on our committees were done back in the 1960s when the place first come about. So, you know, as you look at the golf course and the swimming pool, they're probably all of those meaningful parts of what the charter, what the goal and mission is for each of those probably needs to be updated anyway. So you guys are probably laying a lot of groundwork down for the rest of them to kind of follow through on this as we move ourselves into the new century. It's a good deal. We appreciate everybody's volunteers on that too. I know it's tough to find spare time sometimes. Gosh, I almost hate to ask about general staffing updates. It seems like it's up and down every time we
Well,
talk.
and that it is. Security we had one new guard hired last week and thought, and then that person didn't show up for their drug screen. So we're back to needing 2, which leaves us slightly short-staffed sometimes. Randall's doing it without any overtime currently, just because. So that and some of them. So we do need 2 security officers, plus technically somebody for lake patrol. That position has not been filled. While we are performing lake patrol, we don't have that official budget position filled. or 2.5, if you're looking at full-time employees. Sent out an email blast to members. I think we had 2 calls, with that, or 2 responses, I should say. So there wasn't much interest, or wasn't much response there. And then Jessica in the office here is actually going to be out for a month, starting 2 weeks from today. So one of the things we need to talk about is what we're going to do to survive in the office for that month. The thought is keep it closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday until noon, and then open up noon to 6. Monday, especially being payroll day, and I mean, to kind of get in her mode and do the accounting type of things, and need some relatively quiet time to do that. That being Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday completely open for the entire time Tuesday, which would be 7:30 to 6 p.m. And we thought about, let's open it this week, and then we got to close it back down. Just better not to be that inconsistent. But there will be, it's basically double work. I'll be taking on a lot of the ACC stuff that Jessica does. Penny will be taking. So written reports on the accounting side of it. So she'll be taking on quite a bit of it herself.
The saga continues.
The saga continues.
Hopefully, we'll get a more active working pool of employees coming if here in a couple of weeks when the extra COVID payment relief goes away, maybe we'll have some more people looking for gainful employment.
I'm hoping, but I will say that we're seeing more applicants than we had before. They're just still not returning calls. Jeannie was nice enough to post use the security position as an example on Facebook. We had 23 or 24 applicants. 2 returned our calls. One of them showed up correct. And then he didn't go to his drug test. So
What about the maintenance staff?
maintenance, we're down 1 with Derek out. Rick has hired another seasonal person. I've got somebody from security that's interested in going over to maintenance, and that is a very attractive offer were it not for being so short-staffed in security at the moment. So
We could do both.
he's got a couple. Yeah,
Nothing like a 16-hour day,
He's already working 12, so what the heck, right?
Yeah.
We will. So the golf course essentially is full right now. Would do us some good to be able to pull one of the not typically golf course staff from the golf course and get them back on the maintenance. But right now they are making it work as best they can. Not be throwing a check extra.
Makes sense.
I don't know if we ever have. We didn't this time around because for a month they'd end up answering the phone, taking messages, and then we still have to return the phone calls. So I don't think we get them up to speed fast enough to really. This was kind of short notice. Starting 2 weeks from yesterday.
Okay. Gas tax, any updates?
Gas tax. No, I actually have tried engaging our CPA firm. Have not yet heard back from Mr. Delaney on how that would work and how much they think we could save. If I'm doing the calculations, it's a few $1,000s a year.
What grounds was this on? I guess I missed the background on it.
So because we drive so many miles not on public roads, we actually had a member come forward that had come forward once before. And I'm kind of familiar with it, but not on the accounting side of it. So basically, because we're paying 56 cents per gallon in excise taxes, 18 cents of that is Ohio, 38 cents of that is federal. There is a chance that we could be refunded that for all of the miles that we drive not on public roads. So really all we have to do is per quarter, because of quarterly reporting, all we really have to do is per quarter turn in per vehicle what our mileage is not on public roads. You're taking beginning of the quarter, ending of the quarter mileage, and back out any trips to the gas station, basically, or to
Well, I'd heard of a program in with diesel fuels. I've heard that, but I've never heard it available for gas. That's why I was.
and it may
wondering.
be diesel that I'm thinking of. We'll see. It's diesel we're not charged on because it's they don't charge the excise tax on that. Maybe they were already thinking of that. You may be right in the middle. Don't save us anything. I don't
Yeah,
know the answer.
the diesel I can see. The
CPA
gas,
calls.
I'm not so sure. But anytime there's an option we could get some money or save money, it's got to be worth it.
Oh yeah, well, and with the miles we're
worthwhile.
putting on, the gallons, it'd certainly be a pretty.
Yeah,
a
we
pretty
spend a
big
lot of money
savings.
on fuel, and the guys never get anywhere. So,
We do.
driving a lot of circles. Lodge updates, and then we'll slide into clubhouse updates, or you can just shmooey them together and let's talk about
Segue.
segue into food service news and happenings.
Certainly. We are as we we did our best to try and staff both clubhouse and the lodge, and may have overshared to the clubhouse even to where the lodge is now, particularly with servers and then some kitchen staff is suffering. So it really just as we continue to try and hire there, we've had 0 applicants for the lodge, and that ad posted at the same time on Facebook as Jeannie posted the security one. So we're just looking at different business models if staffing doesn't come back soon. I will say that the way that it is looking right now, the hospitality industry in general, I'm hearing the same thing from old friends in hotels. As I'm reading about restaurants, people just aren't coming back. I mean, those were the industries that suffered the most. There's a lot of hurt feelings over being furloughed, laid off, and that kind of thing. And so, people are like, yeah, let me try something else. Let me try Amazon. Let me try this. Let me try that. So it's a tough market right now. Take a look in Lancaster, and you're driving by fast food places that are starting people at $15 an hour plus benefits. I don't know what benefits they are, but and all these are usually small operators that franchise them. So that restaurants specifically are very, very, very good staff right now. That's why you're seeing a lot of restaurants go to go only still, and curbside only. Those kitchens even that change the name 2 or 3 times, and you can order pizza or hamburgers or steaks from 3 different restaurants, all coming out of the same kitchen. One of the reasons that we are seeing issues with trying to purchase to-go containers, and we've gotten backward on those a couple of times. And then food is just a train wreck right now, and trying to get that ordered and in stock. We know about wings. We talked about that. The latest casualty was the waffle fries. We could get an inferior product for 1.7%, or 100 for basically 1.7 times what we're paying right now. We're hoping to get some in this week, but in any given week, pricing and order availability may be all over the board. Has nothing to do with our own menu choices, our own dietary preferences, or anything else. It has everything to do with supply chain issues.
Yeah, I mean,
Sam's Club lately.
if you travel like a couple of us do, and if you've been out in your normal haunts and grabbing a quick sandwich through, I mean, I've been through Wendy's drive-thrus, and you only can get the little hamburgers because the regular size buns they didn't get a shipment of, and it's like, how can Wendy's not have hamburger buns? And we're running this just last week. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
And I think it's more the logistics, and it's so backed up, and it's just a mess.
Oh yeah.
Just in case you guys out there haven't realized that last year's been a mess.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
still
tell you,
there.
Canal Winchester, the Burger King, the Wendy's, the Starbucks, a lot of the fast food places are not open any given day because they didn't have a couple staff members show up, and they were already running skeletons. So we don't want to get to that point, so we're evaluating different business models, and some may be, buffet only on certain nights. Some may be come up to the cashier and place your order, just depending on how and staff does.
But we will get it figured out.
But we will.
How is the morale of who we have?
Good.
Chef doing well?
Yep. We need to get him some, and we've got some help back there for him that's in training, but we had no luck trying to find a experienced, skilled line cook. And that's really where we need to back up somebody that can saute, somebody, you know, we need to, if we're going to get a charge order, we need to be able to justify that somebody knows steak temps and we're not throwing out an $18 steak because they overcooked it.
Yep. And for those that showed up last Saturday night, about 7:30, thanks for coming in. But I wish you guys would like not have all come in at one time. we went within a half hour. We went from maybe 3 couples upstairs thinking, wow, what a bust tonight we're going to be, to being, oh my gosh. I think without knowing for sure, but it was absolutely the best night since I've been working up here by far on dollar sales.
The
It
best
was
hour and a
terrific.
half for sure.
Oh, it was crazy. I'd never seen those pizza machine upstairs spit pizzas out like it did.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a constant flow.
Yeah.
And the same thing coming out of the kitchen, and for what they went through and really not being able to prepare, not knowing that you'd have that many people at once. The chef and the staff back here, he's got in training. They pulled it off.
Yep.
It was tough, but everybody pulled together and it worked. So keep coming out. We don't want to deter you from that. I think everybody's having a good time.
By
And I
all
did get them
means.
drug out too, and I did embarrass them a little bit when the small crowd was there. And
Yeah.
at least pulled them out of the kitchen and said, hey, everybody, this is a guy cooking your food. This is Aaron.
Yeah, as much as we can, we need to, because he wants to be able to get out there, but he's stuck behind him on the hotline so many times. We are, you know, we've had trouble recruiting dishwashers even. So we're, as much as we want to be on ceramic plates now, it's not in the cards. And somebody to get back there and wash them. May have somebody in the wing, somebody that is going through the new hire process now. And if so, then we'll be able to switch to ceramic. If not, then
Everybody could bring their own and then take them home and wash them. But your name's in about them.
put an RFID tag on them. Kidding. And
All
then the clubhouse is actually staffed well. The Keno machine has been a bit of a drag. We had Wendy from the Ohio Lottery out here for training. We had the tech out here 3 times now to reboot and reset the thing. It's had to go through several updates, like setting your iPhone down for a year and forgetting about it. You're going to wait a while for updates. But they've had trouble getting it going on at least a couple different occasions. I did not think to ask Chris today to find out where we're at with it, but this was as of Friday. They had to check out 2 more times than expected just for the simple update. So I'm sure at some point they will get it working, because Ohio Lottery is losing a whole bunch of money. We're losing 1%. But I'm sure at some point they'll get it working. Pretty popular for the short time we had it running before.
Cool. Another issue, discussion, have an opportunity for installation of some cameras down by the docks. I know we talked about the last meeting, and accessibility and things. So we got an update on that, Jeff.
Not much of an update other than Mary Beth is working with, she on the key initiatives committee is in charge of security side of things, and working with Randall and others on that. But she has a member that is willing to, for the price of relocating an outlet, supply their internet for cameras. So we may be looking at doing that in the short term. Challenge will be that security is not going to be able to see it, but at least it'll be up in the cloud where it can be accessed in
case there's issues.
What we will need is, and good news is, at least with Signature, the system that we would need in order to operate the gates and all of that technology would also have plenty of room for not only our current camera system, but quite a few more cameras on top of that. Our challenge now is that we cannot add any more cameras to that system. Again, pretty old technology.
We're playing catch up.
Yeah.
Whenever
Oh, yeah. And I don't know if that means we need cameras everywhere. I don't know enough about that, but we definitely will need a new.
We probably
Computer
could change
system.
them out as we go by. a lot of things, the old technology doesn't work. The new technology, and again, the new technology is far superior than the old technology. Thing is, video is very massive.
It's not
There's a
bandwidth.
lot of plates. Things are even true. They're huge. So the thing is, the system, the signature is telling us that if we have a server that's, larger than what we have now, have the ability to hold a lot of it. But again, then the question is, how long do you hold it for? I mean, law enforcement will take you say 30 days. That, but if it's 30 days, then it's 30 days.
Times however many cameras.
Well, another project trying to bring us into the new world.
So it sounds like Mary Beth probably has the short-term fix for this year, and then I can try and get something budgeted into next year, but it's gonna end up something I have to do.
So where are the video going to be stored?
I don't know, I haven't been that involved in. Get copied on the email.
Forget what kind of cameras that. I have armor cameras and, but
Yeah.
I think one of the other things that maybe you can, they haven't installed, but it's just tree debris in the way that you may. Some of those lots, some of them. How well can you?
Cameras and people.
I'm not positive.
Two. Yeah. Is what they had suggested.
Okay, more good things to come. Okay, now I'm buffaloed by PPP.
Payroll protection program. So I never did find out if we were actually qualified after I submitted it, but on June 2nd or 3rd, I got an email saying, oh yeah, hey, by the way, we were out of money with the program, so your loan was not approved.
All right, day late, dollar short. There we go.
You qualify, but you're late.
It never said if we were qualified or not. That was still in question.
Either way,
so,
we had nothing.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's the last thing on the
Especially
list.
As much time as you have to spend filling those driving things out and running their payroll reports for them.
Thank you for trying.
Of course.
Yep.
Another shot. Rex, got anything
I have nothing.
on top of that?
No.
Things have been pretty good. Mr. Marty?
Nothing for me.
I'm good.
My turn. Yeah, Randall had actually asked that I ask to the viewing audience, keep in mind, please, that technology is far exceeding what manpower can do these days. We're starting to see more and more people come within minutes, and sometimes even when UPS, FedEx, or Amazon are there at the security office dropping off packages saying, hey, I got the alert, which I know I get mine right when they put it on the porch. But security needs time to sort them, to log them. We had 543 packages we dealt with last week. Please wait for the phone call from security before you head down that way. I expect you to do it.
So we're back on track with the calls happening now then.
Yes. Yeah. And we've got somebody that we hired part-time, shy of bringing in the additional office person because of the productivity levels we've seen here. And we put them just on packages 32 hours a week. Not someone that we would probably look at for security officer anytime soon, but he's picked up the packages quite nicely.
Good. Because I think the same, just like we experienced too. I thought at one point, well, they just went to that system. So that's, yeah, I kind of pop down there when I see it,
Yeah.
and tried to do that today. And he said, well, did we call you last night? I said, no, I just know it's here.
Yeah, nothing wrong with double checking. I mean, if it's next day or several hours later, nothing wrong with double checking, but we also aren't always sorting and logging everything immediately.
Depends on
when they
what else
come
is
in.
going on.
It depends on what security operations. are-
So as long as the members know we're back to, they will call us and tell us
Yes.
when it's there, and then get down as soon as you can to it.
Yeah. And and frankly, if you're not getting called, then I'd like to know about it. Give me a call or give me an email. So
Well, I bought a new
And we can
minivan.
fix
It's supposed
the
to be
one
there
off.
tomorrow, so I'm gonna see how. No, I'm kidding. We'll see where they're gonna put it.
Should we maybe do it?
Yes, we are planning on it. So, good point. I wasn't going to talk about eBlast, but we are experiencing significant eBlast difficulties because Microsoft Outlook limits the number of emails that you can send outbound, and then it locks you out of your email for 24 to 40. Had Penny locked out of her email more times in the last 3 weeks since we started ramping up and everybody wanted more email blasts. Who knew there was this limit? So she is, and I don't think it's completed yet, but she has engaged our IT company, Elite Networks, to go to a SendGrid program, which, and keep in mind, we're sending 1,075 or 79 emails every time there's a blast. This will allow us to send 50,000 emails a month with no daily or weekly limit. So the only daily limit would be, can't send them more often than 4 hours, I think, 2 hours, without being considered spam, and then the email blast program shuts you off. Okay, so I'm about done here and talk to Elite Networks because those have been far too long a phone conversation. But it sounds
The
like
world
they've
of
got the program.
cybersecurity and the
Yeah.
issues we're having,
Oh,
I guess I can see why
And it's
Microsoft.
costing us $15 a month for the SendGrid program.
Still cheaper than stamps.
Okay.
Yeah, what are those?
Safe.
Let our Elite Networks do the management of our program network, so versus me having to do it,
Yeah, one less thing.
versus
For
versus
that
hearing
cost.
Penny get locked out of her email again.
Madam Trustee, anything
I'm good.
you
I
want to
already
share
asked
with
all
us?
that.
Super.
You have a couple things for executive committee. So.
Yes. Okay, motion to adjourn. Cancel. We will adjourn our current meeting.
Yeah.
Good to
Dennis,
have you
no,
guys
Jason.
back.
Good to see you guys back too. It's always good to have a live audience.
You could cheer a little more though.